Welcome everyone and welcome to another blog video. Do you struggle with being positive? Do you think your relationships, your work, your goals are suffering because you're not positive enough? Well, you came to the right place because I'm going to show you how to be positive the right way. And if you follow these steps, that's exactly what will happen. But before I get into it, what makes someone a positive person? We see these people, they have so much energy. It's contagious. As soon as we walk by them, we immediately light up. And these people, they just have so much conviction in their voice. They're so passionate in everything they're saying. And they interpret difficult situations in a different way. They look at the good instead of the bad. And the thing is, with positivity, a lot of people are mistaken and think that if you're happy, you're positive. I used to think that, and that's certainly not the case. Being happy is good when it comes to being positive, but it's not a requirement. You can still be positive and not happy. So now let's kind of get into it. I'm going to give you guys two examples. One will be a job example, and one will be one of my personal examples. Okay. So the first one is, let's say there's an employee. He's very stressed out in his job. Okay, and he said, okay, I'm really stressed out. I'm being overworked. I'm underappreciated. But I'm just going to tough it out. I'll wait a couple of weeks and things will get better. So he's being positive, but what he's failing to do is not take any action, okay? So he put on the face, he made the decision that he's going to be positive, but he's not addressing the issues. He's not addressing the reality. And let's say weeks go on, and then it just gets to a point where he can't take it anymore, okay? So he's being positive, but he's not addressing the issues. It's kind of like, let's say, I'm sitting here and you guys are here and you're telling me, Sonny, the building behind you is burning down. And I say, hey, it's okay, be positive, it'll stop on its own. It's not going to stop on its own. I'm being positive, but I'm not taking action. Okay, so back to the story. So let's say now he doesn't take action. What happens is he suppresses all that frustration, all that resentment inside, and he explodes on his friends, his family. And to make matters worse, he says to his boss, I hate this job, I quit. He was trying to be positive, but he didn't address the reality of the situation, and now the situation got even worse. If you're practicing positivity the right way, and this is what I recommend for you guys as well, is make the decision that you're going to be positive and address all the tough issues, okay? So now let's get into that. So now, same situation, overstressed, overworked, underappreciated. And he knows that it's going to be tough to talk to his manager. It's going to be a confrontation that he doesn't necessarily want to engage in. It's going to be tough for him. And he knows the manager might take it in the wrong way. But he also knows that if he doesn't address the situation, it's going to get worse, and he's not truly being positive. Okay, he's only being half positive by saying he wants to be positive. So he goes and talks to his manager, and obviously his manager reacts a little and says, oh, you don't want to work here? You don't have a good work ethic? And eventually they dive into the conversation, and then his manager understands, okay, this guy's a good guy. He took the initiative to come up to me and talk to me. I got to support him, and I got to make sure I'm there for him. And then once the employee goes through that, he's going to feel so much better that he addressed it the right way. And one thing he did that he didn't do in the first example, or it wasn't done in the first example, was the fact that he was just so focused on the current moment. Because in the current moment, he felt like, okay, this is too hard, I can't deal with it. But he didn't focus on the future moment, or the future feeling, which was, if I get through this moment of being in this tough situation will be gone, okay? This emotion of, I know it's tough right now, it will be gone if I address it properly. And obviously once he addresses it properly, he's going to feel much better, even though it was hard. Now moving on to a personal example. I've talked about in a lot of my videos that I grew up in a single parent household. And for the longest time, it almost took me 20 years, I just didn't understand why this had happened to me. I almost had thought like the situation was almost my fault and I couldn't do anything about it. But what I did was I changed my perceptions and reactions to the situation. Yes, I wasn't happy that I grew up in a single parent household. I almost felt sorry for myself, but then I started to focus on what I gained from that situation, okay? And that was being independent, becoming an emotionally stronger person, becoming more mentally stronger, becoming a more genuine and caring person, and working for everything I have. And that kind of what I got from that experience. And I'm keeping that scenario or the situation very brief because for the sake of the video, but I have discussed it in my workshops in more detail. But that's kind of what it is. And the message there is that there's some situations we can't control, but that doesn't mean we can't be positive. We can focus on what we gained from that situation, how it made us stronger and how it made us better. And one key thing is accepting that we can't control everything, okay? I couldn't control the situation. I couldn't control what happened between my parents, but I could control the way I reacted to it, right? So if you focus a lot on the things you can control your happiness, your motivation, your attitude, you can control those. But you can't control people's opinions, people's reactions. You can't control those things. Focus on the things you can control. And above all, to kind of sum it all up, the main thing, of course, is make the decision to be positive. Make sure you address all those tough issues. Address all the reality. Address the tough situation. And again, if you're going through a tough situation, reflect on the times that you were able to conquer before. If you failed once and you came back stronger, you can do it again. So think of those past times that made you who you are. And seek advice from others. Others have probably gone through what you're currently going through, and they can give you advice, and they can kind of give you an idea of how they conquered a situation. And two other things: never think a situation is impossible. If you think a situation is impossible, it's going to be hard being positive. And again, realize you can't fix everything in one day. If you have an argument with someone, and let's say you have a cool plan in place, or not cool, but you have a plan in place, it's going to address all the issues, it's going to cover everything you need to be positive the right way. That person might not necessarily be ready to speak with you. So you also got to acknowledge that while you want to fix everything in one day, sometimes you can't, okay? So now that you guys see, this is how you can be positive the right way. The two main things is make the decision that you want to be positive, and be willing to address all the issues and the tough reality and like the other things I mentioned. Now I've shown you with these two examples that you truly can be positive the right way. And yes, happiness comes along the way, but just because you're happy doesn't mean you're positive, okay? You can look situations in the face and say, I'm not necessarily smiling, I'm not necessarily happy, but I know eventually this tough situation, I'm going to get through you. Now that's how you can be positive the right way, guys. So go and practice it, because trust me, it works. It's worked for me, and I know it will work for you. Thank you and have a great day.